Hello students, welcome to Notebook. You must have heard about the Mongols and how they raised a fearful army of invaders. Today, we will see how the Mongols created a vast nomadic empire which transformed the history of Eurasia. The Euro-Asian empires faced threats from a new political force originating in the steppes of Central Asia in the 13th century. Genghis Khan had united a strong army of Mongol people who were eager to expand their influence and capture new territories. Genghis Khan believed that he had been chosen by God to rule the whole world, and he spent his lifetime winning able followers by uniting the different Mongol tribes who would fulfill his vision. His descendants created the largest empire in the world. Genghis Khan's grandson, Mongke, had warned the French ruler Louis IX. Another grandson, Batu, invaded and conquered Russian lands till Moscow, captured Poland and Hungary, and settled outside Vienna. In the early decades of the 13th century, the Mongols turned into a formidable force who seemed unstopped and unconquerable. Now, who were these Mongols? They were a diverse group of hunter-gatherers and pastoralists whose languages were similar to each other. They led nomadic lives in the vast and majestic landscape called Mongolia in present times, which comprises of the steppes of Central Asia. The Central Asia steppe confederacies consisted of different groups of Turks and Mongols like the Xiongnu, the Huan, the Turshe, and the Khitans. The Turks were farmers as well as pastoralists and hunter-gatherers. None of the Mongols took up farming. Instead, they tended to cattle, horses, sheep, goats, and camels. The Mongols constructed temporary settlements like tents and gairs in their summer and winter pasture lands. The Mongols were divided into richer and poorer families. The richer families had more cattle and pasture and influence in local politics. The poorer families sometimes flocked around the richer and more powerful families to support themselves and formed short-time confederacies. During droughts and natural calamities, the Mongols faced a dearth of resources. Then, they resorted to raiding each other's livestock and pasture lands for survival. You have seen pictures of the Great Wall of China, regarded as one of the 7 wonders of the world. How did this wall come into being? The Great Wall owes its origin to the threats that China faced from Mongol invasion and repeated nomadic raids. Mongol attacks on China continued for 6 decades in the 13th century. The Central Asian nomads and the Mongols often traded or bartered their resources with their settled neighbors in China. These commercial ties were not very peaceful. Both groups used military tactics to increase their profit. Sometimes they even resorted to plunder. There were repeated frontier wars or power tussles between the two societies. The Chinese and the Mongols defeated and dominated each other alternately. The nomadic groups moved away from conflict zones and hence were not as affected as the settled communities by these wars. The agrarian societies in North China hence started building fortifications since the 3rd century BCE to defend themselves. The fortifications integrated into the Great Wall of China. Today, it runs for 21,196 kilometers with all its branches, according to an archaeological survey. We will now see how Genghis Khan rose to power and what he achieved during his lifetime. Genghis Khan was born as Temujin in the northern part of present-day Mongolia to Yesuge. Yesuge was the chieftain of the Kiath group of families related to the Borjigid clan. Right after his birth, Genghis Khan began to face hardships. His father was murdered and he himself was captured and enslaved for years. He had to fight to recover his kidnapped wife, Borte. During these difficult times, Genghis, or rather Temujin, made some important friends. They were his first ally, Bogurchu, his brother Jamuka, and others. Jamuka, however, turned into an enemy soon after. Genghis Khan created a powerful alliance with his father's old blood brother, Ong Khan, and defeated Jamuka and other strong adversaries. Temujin also conquered his father's assassins, the powerful Tatars and the Kiraites. As Temujin's power grew, Ong Khan too turned into an adversary, and Temujin defeated him as well in 1203. Temujin became the dominant ruler of the steppes after he finally defeated the Naimans and Jamuka in 1206. The Mongol chieftains recognized him as the great Khan of the Mongols and gave him the title of the Oceanic Khan or Genghis Khan, which means universal ruler. Genghis Khan built a very disciplined and efficient army from the people of the Mongol clan. The army used superior military tactics to destroy their enemies. They used their natural skills like horse riding and archery and their traditional knowledge of the weather of their native land to design winning strategies. Under Genghis Khan's leadership, the Mongol army also innovated steppe warfare traditions. They used siege engines, naphtha bombardment, and light portable equipment in wars. Defeating China was Genghis Khan's primary agenda after forming a strong military force. China at that time was divided into 3 regions based on the rulers. The Xisai people of Tibetan origin ruled the northwestern provinces of China. The Joseon dynasty controlled North China from Peking, and the Sung dynasty reigned over South China. Genghis defeated the Xisai, broke through the Great Wall of China, and sacked Peking by 1215. After this, Genghis left his subordinates to continue the warfare with China and returned home in 1216 satisfied. Genghis Khan was aggressive and merciless in his conquests. Perhaps his early life of torture and hardships had shaped his personality in that manner. Genghis shattered the military forces of the enemy camp who dared to kill Mongol envoys and the cities which resisted his domination. Between 1219 and 1221, the great cities of Otrar, Bukhara, Samarkand, Balkh, Gurganj, Merv, Nishapur, and Herat surrendered to the Mongol forces. Sultan Muhammad, the ruler of Khwarezm, had slaughtered a Mongol caravan and its envoys in the Khwarezm city of Otrar. Genghis took his revenge by deploying a force of more than 200,000 troops and demolishing Khwarezm by 1220. The Mongol armies set out on military campaigns during cold and harsh winters. They used the frozen rivers as highways to enemy cities and camps. In our next video, we will learn more about the military expansion and governance of the Mongols during Genghis Khan's rule and after his death. See you soon.